Hi and welcome back. In an earlier episode on the VAXstation 2000 I found that the hard drive in the machine was faulty. Now, being an MFM drive, they're a bit hard to come by, but all is not lost. Today I'm going to show you how you can boot the machine over the network off another VMS box and get the system running without a hard drive in it. I currently have these two machines connected with some thin wire Ethernet. Okay, we've turned on the VAXstation 2000 and from the noise you can tell that it's not happy and it's attempted to boot off DUA0 but it can't do it. And after quite a bit of trying it's eventually failed. So what we're going to do today is set up what's called a Local Area VAX cluster, LAVc. The reason it's called that is because the clustering is done over the local area network, in contrast to some of the other VMS systems that do their clustering over the disk storage bus, like HSCs or DSSI, things like that. This happens over the network. Anyway, we'll swap over to the 3100 now. Now, as always, the first thing you're going to need is a license. And you can see I have a license loaded here called VAX cluster. Then what you need to do is run cluster config. I might just turn off those messages. You can use either DECnet or LANCP to do the loading, so we'll just go with the default. And the first thing we're going to do is add the current machine to a new cluster. So the allocation cluster 1. We want a quorum disk. In the case of local area VAX cluster, there's no point, because if the master machine goes down, then the slave goes down as well. So now we'll run autogen for it to set the parameters, and this will take a bit of time. Start it up again. Now loads a few extra components due to being the VAX cluster, or VMS cluster as it says. On our VAXstation 2000, we'll do a test 50, which will show us what the MAC address is for the Ethernet. And we need that to plug it into the VAX cluster configuration. Now we can log in. So this time it's not offering to set up the first cluster node because it's already set up. So we do option 1 again to add another node to the cluster. Yes, we want a satellite node. Doesn't have its own disks. So we'll call it VS2000. We'll make it something like that. And now we type in the MAC address of the remote node that we got earlier. These satellite nodes will create another directory on the hard drive. Generally, in any VMware system you'll have a sys0, and then you can use sys1, 2, 3, 4, whatever for normal cluster members. Local area clusters tend to start at 10, so we'll go with that. Allow conversational, yeah, why not? We won't worry about that. No point serving a dead disk. Things are a lot faster if you have a local disk for paging and swapping, but in this case it's dead, so that's not going to work. And that's it. It's now time to check out the VAXstation 2000. We're on the VAXstation 2000 now, so instead of booting off DUA0, which is the hard drive, we boot off ESA0, which is the network card. And it's now loading over the network. Okay, so the system is now up and running. It's a 6 meg machine, this VAXstation. We'll show cluster. It shows the 2 members of the cluster, DigDig and VS2000, which is the one I'm on at the moment. And you can look at the discs. So we can see the 2 discs on the VAXstation, the Duca A100 and 200, and the VS.DY0, which is the local drive on the VAXstation 2000. Try and mount it, even though it's faulty. See what happens. So if you look at the root of the system disc, you can see the 2 system roots, sys0 is for VAXstation 3100 and sys10 is the root for the VAXstation 2000. You can see when you look at the pages swap files that they're sitting in sys10, so they're in a separate part of the disk. So yes, we have a running system on a machine with a dead drive. And there you have it. I've successfully booted the VAXstation 2000 with the dead hard drive into VMS by putting it into a local area VAX cluster with the VAXstation 3100. Of course, if you don't have multiple machines like this, you can always load up VMS in an emulator like SimH and then boot your dead machine into a cluster using that. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting, and we'll catch up with you next time.